very kind. Thank you so much. Well, thank you. Nice to see you. Thank you. Hello and welcome to Friday Night with Jonathan Ross. Now, you might have read, it's been in the papers this week, that the BBC TV studios, where we record this, BBC Television Centre, it's going to be knocked down. They're going to knock down this building. But there is some good news, because some bits have been listed as historical monuments, so they're going to preserve them. And as we know, the BBC knows how to preserve and extend the life of a crumbling wreck. Look at Bruce's career. I mean, it just goes on. God bless him. But it means, of course, developers won't be allowed to change anything for decades. You know, it's a bit like being Jeremy Clarkson's hairdresser. It has to stay the same. And, you know, you look at the people who work here. I mean, for example, Anne Robinson will need retrospective planning permission for her face, because she's changed everything. And they're keeping the Blue Peter Garden. It's where Shep's buried, of course. It's where Petra's buried. I think it's where Mark Lamar is buried as well. Actually, the Blue Peter Garden's not a historical site. It's just the police want to preserve everywhere that John Leslie's been until forensics have had a look. Now, it's just a bit of summer whimsy. That's all that was. Talking of tourist attractions, may I introduce four men who have regularly been taking up Wookey Hole, which is it's a lovely place to sit aside. It's my house band, four puffs and a piano, ladies and gentlemen.
The more I see you, the more I want you. I know the only one for me can only be you. My arms won't free you, and my heart won't try.
Very nice. What a lovely, cheerful start to the show. Thank you, fellas. Let's start, as we always do, by having a look in the green room and seeing who is on the programme tonight. My first guest is a British actor. He's a star of stage and screen. You'll know him from Hustle or from the movie The Day After Tomorrow. I, of course, know him from the Shakespearean stage. It's Adrian Lester, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, Adrian, how you doing? No, sit down, calm down. Not yet, not yet, not yet. Relax. Oh, he's keen. He's keen. Relax, take it easy. In a minute. Oh, well, don't now ignore me. Now, Adrian, I'm sure you've seen the trailers on the BBC here. He's got a new show called Bone Kickers coming out, and Adrian plays a maverick forensic archaeologist. Yes, I know, another one. He's like a sexy time team. Imagine, if you can, Tony Robinson in a short skirt, maybe stockings, bending over a dig, holding a Prada trowel. Then try and keep hold of your breakfast and read your mind of that image, OK? Adrian Lester on the show. It's Adrian Lester, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us, Adrian. It's a classy look. Thank you. My next guest is a comedian and actor who starred in the award-winning The Thick of It, a fabulous show. It's Chris Addison, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, Chris. How you doing?
I'm very well, thank you.
He's a good-looking young man as well. We're surrounded by him. Now, Chris has described himself as the most middle-class man you'll ever meet. In fact, we only got him here this evening by telling him it was a sophisticated dinner party. And he's turned up with a pudding, panna cotta with mixed berry coulis, and some flowers for the hostess. So thank you for that, Chris. Chris Addison, ladies and gentlemen. My next guest is a multi-Oscar-winning Hollywood icon. She is the wonderful Meryl Streep, ladies and gentlemen. There she is. Hello, Meryl. Lovely to see you. Thank you for joining. Meryl here. Mel's won not just one Oscar, she's won 2 Oscars. Where do you keep them? Can you tell us where you keep them?
On a very high shelf, because the kids used to fight with them.
Well, that's, well, that's fair enough. Well, I'll tell you what I would do if I had 2 Oscars. I would have them made into a salt and pepper set. So I could put them out so everyone would see them at dinner time. I'd say, how's the soup? Anyone need some Kramer versus Kramer? You know what that salad needs? A bit of Sophie's Choice. There you go. You should think about it. Meryl Streep, ladies and gentlemen, on the show this evening. How lovely to have you here. And we have fantastic live music from the hottest British band of the moment, The Last Shadow Puppets. There they are. Hey, guys, how you doing?
Hello.
Hello. Now, in case you're not aware of the Shadow Puppets, there's Miles from the Rascals. Hello, Miles, how you doing?
Hi, Jonathan.
OK,
Very
and
good.
Good to have you here. And there's Alex from the Arctic Monkeys. They're
Hello.
about to get there. There you go. You look a little bit like a salt and pepper set right there, the two of you.
Like a female rap duo.
Well, can I just check something? You're not conjoined twins. You can separate.
No, it was stuck.
Yeah, because it looks
one
a lot...
suit.
I'd love it if you came out and had to perform like that all evening. Lovely to have you. It's The Last Shadow Puppets, ladies and gentlemen, performing for you live on the show tonight. Now, German scientists have come up with an invention that will revolutionise bedroom manoeuvres, OK? This is a genuine invention. It is this here, the much. It's the spray-on condom. Condom in a can. It does exactly what it says on the tin. It's a condom you spray on to give yourself a sensitive polymer layer so thin that it's virtually approved by the Vatican. It's almost not. So this is how it works, right? Imagine the scene. The moment arrives, you shake the bottle, you wake the drink, okay? Okay. All right, that's the tip done. And then we got another can, darling. Keep yourself on the simmer, love. I feel like Banksy doing a mural. Oh, sorry, this is Mr. Muscle. But don't worry, darling, so is this. Brace yourself. Should we get my first guest out, ladies and gentlemen? Why don't we, before we do, let's have a look at him showing us what he's made of in the fantastic Hustle.
Ready? Where are we? Don't worry. I found you a nice, quiet little spot.
Gentlemen, you have 6 hours. 3, 2, 1, go!
Shit!
Go. The smooth move there from Mr. Adrian Lester, ladies and gentlemen.
Don't you wanna come with me? Don't you wanna feel my bones on your bones? It's only natural. Don't you wanna come with me?
See, that's how to dress, that's style. You're a stylish man, look at that.
Thank you.
Okay, how nice to have you here. How's your summer been? Did you get to go to any festivals, anything like that?
No, I don't really do that kind of thing.
You enjoy the tennis? You watching any sport on TV?
I'm not a real bloke in that respect, because it's like I'm confessing something, isn't it?
What are you doing? You indoors just downloading internet porn all day? What are you doing? Have some fun. Get some fresh air in your lungs.
I don't really follow sport. I'm not
sport
one of
at
those.
all?
No, I'm not one of those guys.
No sport at all?
No football teams, cricket, tennis,
Darts?
darts,
Snooker?
nothing.
Nothing?
I'm
Badminton?
just not interested. It's just not my interest.
Well, it's great to have you here, regardless of the fact you don't love any sport. You ever thought of faking it?
I do sometimes in the back of a cab. Like, oh, did you see that match last night, mate? I'm like, yeah, wasn't it? And when he did the thing with the, yeah, it was a great goal, wasn't it? Wasn't it a great goal?
They're going to
I
catch
just
you out,
lie.
though, are they? Yeah.
I just lie.
Yeah, you're back in Hustle. You're back playing.
Yeah,
is it Mickey
back
Stone?
being Mickey.
Is his name in Hustle? Everyone's favourite comment. But you weren't in the last series, were you?
No, I skipped a series.
So you're filming the next series now.
Yeah, series 5.
Why weren't you in the last series? What happened there?
I went off to America and did a pilot for Fox.
Wow.
And I shot a thing called Beyond. And with pilot season, you shoot the pilot and then they hold on to it and they're going to see if they're going to take it, they'll see if they make it into a series, and they held on to it and held on to it and held on to it. And I missed filming for the fourth series.
So you had to sit out there. You had to keep yourself available in case they wanted you to do a series?
Basically, you keep yourself out of work.
Wow. But they pay you for that, do they, or not?
Yeah, they pay you. Yeah.
But not as much as you would have liked. Okay. But it's worth taking a punt there, because if it works and you're on a TV show in the States...
it's a gamble.
How was the show? Was it Beyond, you said it was called?
Yeah, Beyond.
What's it about? It sounds
It was
spooky.
about the Jet Propulsion Laboratory in LA.
And they didn't pick up the series?
It was really interesting.
Because that's what we've been waiting for, is a show about jet propulsion scientists. Yeah. Well, good luck with the rest of the year. And, I bet you were saying, get me back in a Hustle as soon as possible. But you were missed in the last series. I know you didn't feel the same without you there, and I'm sure the other actors missed having you around as well, because that's quite a big chunk of your life you spent on that show, isn't it?
It is, and to have created the character and then miss a series is, I was calling the guys up and saying, how's it going? How are things going down? But no, I couldn't be there. And in that time, through the Beyond period, I did a documentary called Empire's Children. And then I did a film called Doomsday, and, you know, I did a few other
So
things.
you've been pretty busy, though. You found other things to do with your time.
Yeah,
But just not hustle.
Just not hustle.
But you must have missed working with, and certainly Robert Vaughn, the great Robert Vaughn. I mean, that's so exciting. Working with,
legend.
you know, the original man from U.N.C.L.E.
Yeah.
He was in The Magnificent Seven. He
Yeah.
was in Battle Beyond the Stars. What a great thing. Were you a fan of him when you were growing up as a kid? Did you like those shows?
Yeah, I just couldn't believe, you know, when we got on set and he was there and they said, well, you know, this is Robert and Robert's going to be playing, and I got completely starstruck.
You must have seen The Magnificent Seven.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
That's a great film, isn't it?
He's now the last surviving member.
Oh, well, thanks for bringing us down. So, you know any other great people who've died?
What? No.
Yeah.
Sorry, John.
No one died in the jet propulsion lab while you were blowing one up. Now, the premise of Hustle, I'm sure you've seen it, is it's about conning. It's the art of the con. And these guys, they're decent con artists, aren't they? The phrase they use, I believe, is you can never con an honest man. Is that right?
Yeah,
So kind of you're on their side. But do you learn much about the actual business of conning? And does it actually go on? Do people do these kind of scams in the real world?
Yeah, they're all taken from reality. They're all taken. They're scams. Teams normally do one scam. They practice it a long con, and they get it to the point of what it's seamless, and they're experts at it, and they keep running that same con in different towns and cities and states, you know, across America.
So they move around and they do it, and they lure people in, and they're always offering something more than they should be able to get for that return.
Exactly.
So it's always a bit dodgy, isn't it? Okay. Let's talk about your past. You're a big, you know, we know you're a big star on TV now, and you've got this new series coming, which we'll talk about in a minute. But you came up the fairly traditional route. Theatre was, I guess, where you first, you know. What was the first time on stage for you? Not so much as a success as an adult, even. Where did you first start performing? What's the first role you can remember, even as a kid, being on stage performing?
Yeah, the first thing I appeared on stage in was a play called The Walking Class. It was a pretty good play. It was the first time I was on stage, Midlands Arts Centre, which is where I did all my... I was about 14.
14 years old. But, you know, are you from the Midlands, then?
Yeah, I'm from
But you have no accent. I mean, your accent is hard to place. I guess there's a little bit of American creeping in there. I guess that's because you just come back.
Really?
Did you try to lose your Birmingham accent? I mean, did you have a broad Black Country or Kidderminster or Birmingham accent? Whereabouts exactly were you from?
No, I mean, I always had a Birmingham accent, but the accent I listened to when I got home wasn't Birmingham. It wasn't like, you know, come in, take your shoes off and get ready for, you know, it wasn't like that. Yeah. It was entirely different.
What was the accent at home then?
It was patois.
Okay, so your mum and dad, where are they from originally?
Jamaica.
So they had a full fruity Jamaican.
Yeah, more or less.
Can we hear a little bit of this?
The grandparents were much more...
So your grandparents, were your grandparents living with you as well?
Yeah. My granddad came over and had the...
Yeah, so that's a nice family. That's a really traditional...
Bought the big house, and, you know, the kids were brought up and the grandkids were there and so on. It was a big family setup.
So young Adrian's just come home from school, okay? And Grandpa's greeting him at the door. What would Grandpa have said or Grandma say when they see young Adrian coming in from school?
Something like, you know, boy, why you come home so late? Take off your shoes.
Boy, why you come home so late?
I knew you'd do that.
Take off them shoes.
I knew you'd do that.
Like that? Yeah. That's pretty good, isn't it?
Well, you've been hanging with Jay-Z, so I'm not going to say anything.
Oh, yeah, because Jay-Z speaks just like that. Boy, Beyonce, take off them shoes. And shake them booty. You haven't got the right something for your Beyonce. I think I've gone a bit too far now. What do you think?
Yeah, crossed that thin line.
Do they go back? Have you been back to Jamaica with them, where they come from?
Yeah, I have. Yeah, I saw St Mary and a place called 42 where my mum went to school, and I walked the route my mum took to school.
How nice.
It was, it was phenomenal. It was brilliant.
But you've got two girls, is that right?
2 little girls, yeah.
So I guess you're keen for them to be aware of the heritage that your grandparents had and their
Yeah, and my wife's parents are from Calcutta, India.
Wow, that's a really mixed bunch right there, then.
Yeah, we were conscious of the fact that we want their life in Britain to reflect their life at home.
So when she came home from school, what kind of things would her grandparents say to her?
You know what? I like being married. I'm not even going to try. Because they're watching.
How do you find being a dad? How are you as a father? What kind of are you strict with them, or do you find because they're little girls and you're the daddy, can they have their own way?
Well, we're both strict, really. Yeah. We're both very, very strict. Both very, very playful, and they're really cool kids. And you know, we love bedtime and stories and all that. And
so, what does your wife do?
She's an actress.
So you're my 2 actors in the family there. So I imagine bedtime stories. You must be competing for the best production and the best. I bet you give it plenty, don't you?
Tell you what, in the downtimes when you're not working, you can really get into those bedtime stories.
And then he came into the room and he stood at the door.
Why are you reading The Children, the Elephant Man at bedtime? What kind of a messed up family is that? Are they showing any ambitions themselves? Do you think they would like to follow mum and dad onto the stage?
They're just into everything. my 4-year-old's mad about Corbin Bleu, so...
What's Corbin Bleu?
What's Corbin
Who is Corbin Bleu?
What's High School Musical?
Oh, yeah, I'm vaguely aware of the High School Musical. Yeah, but you don't... The thing is, I'm down with the hip kids, not those kind of kids. No, my daughter's into it, but I didn't know... Which one's Corbin Bleu?
Corbin Bleu, he's...
Is he the sort of funny one with the little hat, the white hat?
No, he's got his hair's all out.
Oh, yeah,
hair,
he's the cool guy.
dances.
OK, because my daughter likes Zac Efron, who looks a little bit like he's walked into a glass door or something. I don't know if he's... But it's a nice show, isn't it?
It's a great show, it's a great show.
So presumably your daughters, if Daddy could be in something like High School Musical, that would be it for them?
They would love it.
Can you do the singing and dancing?
I've done musicals before, and they love little bits that I've done of Love's Labour's Lost or Company, because it was televised. But, yeah, they'd love it if I could do something like that.
But you now, when you were a kid, though, you were very adept at breakdancing, I believe. Is this correct?
I did a bit of breakdancing,
Wow,
yeah.
what about that? Well, that's another thing we have in common.
Let's see, give him a beat.
No, I can pop and lock, but I'm not so good on the floor, I'll be honest with you. What sort of breakdance did you do, though? I won't ask you to demonstrate, but was it the full cardboard on the floor outside a shopping centre spinning on your head deal, or was it more at home?
We used to do that. And
would you do it just for fun, or would you put on performances, or would you try and busk like that?
We tried a few times taking on other crews.
Oh, wow, you took on another crew?
Yeah.
OK, so this is quite formal.
But again, at the Midlands Arts Centre on a Sunday afternoon, they do this whole... we'd take over the dance studio,
yeah.
and they'd have a DJ going in the corner, and all the kids would come from, all over the city. And we'd all just hang out and practice and use the towels and spins and do windmills and all the rest of it.
Well, what a lovely memory that must be.
Yeah, it was a great place. It was a great place. If it wasn't for that building, I wouldn't have gone into the arts.
And is it still there?
It's being refurbished right now, but hopefully it will always be there. I hope it will always be there.
Well, for the kids in the area to go to and pop and lock.
Get down.
OK, let's talk about Bone Kickers. This is the new show you've done here for the BBC. I've been seeing the trailers on. It's kind of... Would it be fair to say it's sort of like a British... It's a team of Indiana Jones type people, or is it not as action-packed as that? Is that what they're going for?
No, yeah, they're going for that. It's an adventure series. It's a sort of like, Indiana Jones and like you said, the ground force and so on. Off the A23.
So it's not on that kind of scale then, because I would have thought if you're doing a thing about archaeology, you're going to get to go everywhere. You're going to be filming in Brazil, you're going to be filming in Peru, you'll be filming in Jerusalem, you'll be filming all to these great Egypt. You'd go to those sites, so you don't get to go to those places.
No, we were desperate to do that. No, we're based at the Wessex University in Bath.
Have you learned nothing from your days as a jet propulsion scientist? People want glamour. They want
glamour.
Do they capture those? Do you fake those?
They do. The writers have been brilliant, and Professor Mark Horton, who's our sort of advisor. There are so many stories. The Roman baths, got all of that. The Knights Templar. There are Maroons and the Bristol Channel, and it goes back to slavery and all of that. The stories are incredible.
So it's kind of, there's history involved, genuine history, as well as it being...
Yeah, genuine history.
I guess there's action. Is there romance in it as well?
There's romance, there's action and fire and danger.
OK, let's have a look at a clip. This is the clip. When does it start, the bunker? It starts next week, I think, here on BBC.
Tuesday.
Let's have a look.
A piece of 2,000-year-old wood from the Holy Land.
Carried by the Knights Templar, who we know were entrusted with Christian relics from Jerusalem. But that isn't the best bit. There's organic residue in the wood, soaked in, like blood, mixed with metal traces.
OK, gently, Bentley. Let's not get carried away.
I'm not getting carried away, Dolly. I'm telling you what I found. Evidence that 2,000 years ago, someone may have been lacerated with a metal nail and bled into this wood.
Well, I think we know who they're talking about there. I'm looking forward to it. How many have you done of that? How many in the series of that?
We've done 6, and we're still waiting to hear whether we do another.
So what? They're waiting to see how the audience react and then decide whether to go with more.
Yeah.
OK, and what do you do in the downtime now that you have? I know you're currently filming Hustle, but when you have time off, what do you like to do? We know you don't like sport. What do you do for pleasure for yourself? Movies or eating or what?
Yeah, lots of movies. I love movies and I love music, and I've been studying martial arts for about 12 years.
Well, it's another thing we have in common. What is your martial arts area of expertise?
It's Muay Thai Taekwondo.
Muay Thai Taekwondo? I think I've eaten there. Any kind of... What's that? What's that? What was that? Why was that? And I don't like where you're holding your glass, young man, I'll be honest with you. Just some sort of thinly veiled sexual insults.
I knew I should have put that down.
I think
felt
you
like
should.
that we're going to get
leave
it.
it, just
Yeah.
it's nice like
All
that.
right.
Even though we see a small gap at the shoulders, they're still joined at the lower elbow and waist.
It's more where you can't see it's joined. It's more of the hip area.
Thank you. OK, what sort of sport, though, is it? Is it like contact karate, or is it more like that Brazilian one where you don't kick anyone and they just sit in adverts?
It's not like that's capoeira, and it's not like that. It's more it is contact. It's not the kind of the Olympic form of taekwondo. We have to, for our gradings, I recently did my black belt, and we had to break.
Wait, you have hold it. You have the black belt?
Yeah.
He's a black belt in Taekwondo, ladies and gentlemen. Forgive my pronunciation, but I think you'll find that's the correct way to say it. Well, congratulations, that's fantastic.
Thank you.
Well, you can be on my team now if ever we go out breakdancing. You can join my crew.
Oh, cheers.
If we get any trouble from that crew, we know who's going to win. How lovely to have you here. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Adrian Lester. Thanks for joining us, Adrian. Great to have you here. I like the sound of a black belt. I never got that far on anything. Adrian Lester. Thanks, Adrian. Now, the world has a new official ugliest dog. I'm sure you remember this animal, Elwood. He was in the papers a while ago. There's Elwood. Yeah, he was called the world's ugliest dog, poor thing, OK? Well, you know, that's bad enough, but at least he was special. Now he's lost his crown, because this is the dog he's lost it to. This is Gus, who they claim is even... Oh, that's an ugly dog, isn't it? He's got 3 legs and 1 eye as well. Poor thing, eh? Look at the state of that. Good look at that. Imagine him coming up and trying to lick your private. So it's like, get down. Get down. Shall we get my next guest out, ladies and gentlemen? OK, but first, let's see him in his brand new BBC sitcom, Lab Rats.
We're going to have to cut down lab costs. Why don't we look into solar power?
Because it doesn't work.
Well, there are a lot of people who disagree with you.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of people in China, but it doesn't make them right, does it?
What about?
I don't know, Alex. I don't speak Chinese. Nasty bitch.
No, it doesn't matter. Look, what's wrong with solar power? What about calculators? Everybody uses solar power calculators.
Not me. I wouldn't be seen dead with one. When I turn something on, I want to be able to use it straight away. I don't want to have to stand around for 8 minutes waiting for the light of the sun to get to me.
You don't, you lunatic. There's light already here, isn't there?
Yeah, but you're using that up, aren't you? Looking at the calculator.
No.
That's why I power my calculators with lemons.
I can't believe we're having this conversation. How have you got through life without a piano falling on you?
I haven't.
Will you please welcome Mr. Chris Addison, ladies and gentlemen?
There's antimony, arsenic, aluminum, selenium, hydrogen and oxygen and nitrogen and helium, a needle, helium, neptunium, germanium, and iron, americium, ruthenium, beryllium. These are the only ones of which the news has come to Howard. And there may be many others, but they haven't been discovered.
Well, can I be honest? That sounded absolutely terrible.
It was awful.
Right, okay. I asked this of Adrian. He said he hadn't been to any festivals. He's not that kind of person. Are you a festival goer?
Oh, yes. I love the mud.
Have you been... Well, you didn't get much of Glastonbury this year, I don't know.
No, that's why I didn't go.
Okay,
It would have been very disappointing.
It would have been a crushing failure.
Yeah. No, I'm just too old for that. I can't be doing that.
How old are you?
I'm older. How old do you think I am?
About 14?
Yeah.
And my next question was, are you still a virgin? That's how young I think you are.
There's a joke in the show in Lab Rats where somebody says to my character, "Must have taken you an awful long time to lose your virginity," and I say, "I never really lost my virginity. It just sort of eventually wore off, really." Now that kind of comes from real life. In many ways, that's how that joke got written.
But you do look quite young.
I do, yeah.
Have you? I guess you've always looked young, especially when you actually
Especially
were.
when I was a baby.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I looked at my youngest back then. And really, since then, I've gradually looked older and
well,
older.
let's establish this. How old are you actually now, then?
I am 36.
So you're 36. I would say you look about 24.
I am.
OK, let me talk about how you got into this business, because did you start as a stand-up, or did you start as an actor and then become stand-up?
No, I started as a stand-up.
Okay.
Yeah, for years and years and years, I was a stand-up.
Now, stand-up, I've never done stand-up comedy. I've always been a little bit scared of it, a little bit intimidated by the crowd and stuff. I've tried a little bit over the years, but it's quite daunting. It can be a terrifying experience.
Yeah.
Do you get scared before a gig? Has that period gone? How were your early appearances? I mean, were they...
I think, yeah, you're terrified to begin with. Early in your career, you're bound to be terrified. But you can't go on living like that. You go nuts, wouldn't you? You die very, very quickly.
Or you could stop doing comedy.
Or you could stop doing comedy. Yeah, that's the other option. So no, I don't so much these days. I used to get really, really worried about it.
Okay, and what would be the worry? The worry that people wouldn't laugh, or that they would throw things? What would be the actual primary concern?
I think the worry would be, it's a lot of different things, and they can all be encapsulated in the idea that you don't want to look a dick.
Yeah.
And that's basically it. Either you'll forget your lines, or what you meant to say to the people, or they won't laugh, or it'll just be horrible.
And how did you deal with that? How did you overcome that fear to go on stage?
I learnt to look a dick. I think just over time you do, don't you? Over time you just learn to live with whatever it is that you have to do.
And so the acting grew out of that. You always wanted to act as well, or just...
No, well, the acting was weird. It kind of came completely out of nowhere. I had no ambitions in that direction at all. And then this show, The Thick of It, turned up. And I did one night in London. A friend of mine had set up a political comedy club. And I went, and for the only time in my life, I did stand-up, not as myself, but as a character. Okay. As character. And I've never done it before, never done it since, but Armando Iannucci, who is the creator of The Thick of It, happened to be in the audience. And I think he must have remembered it when later on he came to cast it, and he asked me in.
Now, Armando Iannucci, of course, is I think he wrote as well as did he direct The Thick of It, or just write it?
He co-wrote it with a bunch of other people.
Because he co-wrote Alan Partridge with Steve Coogan. I mean, he's got a great comedy pedigree. So he was looking around. And was the character you played on stage, was that the same sort of character that you wound up playing in?
No, I played a guy called Dr. Tristan Harding, who was a columnist for the Sunday Mail. Okay. Or the Mail on Sunday.
So he would be quite right-wing, quite opinionated.
Pretty right-wing.
What kind of material did you do? Can you remember the material?
Mainly racist. It was... No, he
but
was...
in character, of course.
In character, yes, I mean, it wasn't me. No, it was just...
Yeah.
It was just a lot of appalling right-wing views. It was pretty basic satire. It was my view of what the Daily Mail is like, which is...
So what comedy do you normally do then? If you don't normally do political comedy, what if someone was to see... Because you still do comedy gigs, don't you?
Yeah.
What kind of material do you do if it isn't political?
Do you know, I've always found that a really difficult question to answer, which seems like an insane thing to say, but I don't know, it's quite whimsical, there's a lot of lies involved, there's a lot of sweat, but over the last few years, I've tended to do, in the one-man shows that I've done shows about things like evolution and history and...
these are big concepts, these are big ideas you put out there. Yeah. Let me ask you then about The Thick of It. When you're working on that with, and it's a great cast you had there.
Yeah,
fabulous people working with you, of course. Now, I noticed that the character who you work for, what's the name of the actor who plays the kind of Alastair Campbell type character?
Peter Capaldi.
Peter Capaldi, who's fabulous in it.
Yeah.
He's very inventive in his use of language. The swearing on that show is quite remarkable.
Yeah,
I mean,
it is.
This isn't the kind of thing that actually goes on in politics, or is it?
The swearing is, I mean, it is, a lot of people find it quite offensive. And when we first did The Thick of It, we were quite uncomfortable saying, is this really how they talk? And we had this guy, Martin Sixsmith, who used to be the press officer at the Department of Transport as a consultant on the show. And he said, to be honest, if anything, you need to turn it up a notch.
So he was kind of a swearing consultant?
No, he wasn't a swearing consultant, but he told us that basically they swear a lot in politics, which, I mean, when you think about politics, inevitably that's going to happen, because if you're a politician opening the paper every day, what are you going to say? Oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
You're looking at yourself oh, Jesus Christ. That's bound to come out of you.
But it's more colourful than that. Can you... Because your character doesn't swear so much.
Not so much, no, he's not very good.
Can you think of some of Peter Capaldi's more fruity...
Well, people go up to Peter in the street and ask him to say, come the fuck in or fuck the fuck off.
Come the fuck in or fuck
Come the fuck in or fuck the fuck off.
That's something you could teach children as a kind of tongue twister, couldn't you?
You could teach... Maybe that's like a Shaun Ryder's book of tongue twisters. That's what that is.
This is... have a look at this. This is Chris Addison in The Thick of It.
Hi, Angela. Oh, I like the hair. It's a nice little cox, Chris. How's it going?
Yeah, fine. We were just talking about why Angela shouldn't do a big story on the big insidery piece, kind of day of spin sort of spread in a paper.
I don't know. Maybe you should. Good idea. Oh, wait a minute. I know why she shouldn't. Because, you know, if she did that, she'd be dead. To me, to this department, to the government. And she'd never get another story. Or a fucking whiff of a story. So long as she kept her sorry, hack bitch face lingering around Westminster, because I would call every editor I know, which obviously, that's all of them. And I'd tell them to gouge her name out of their address books, so she'd never even get a job on hospital radio where the sad sack belongs. That's what I'd tell her. But maybe you should do it. See you later.
Yeah. He can be really nice. It's been a very long day.
How old were you there?
I was 14.
Okay, so that's the thick of it, and that's got a very modern feel to it, but this new
Yeah.
thing we saw, a couple of lab rats, it's a more traditional kind of sitcom,
Yeah,
is that
yeah,
right?
yeah,
That's
yeah.
a deliberate choice, I guess.
Definitely, yeah. And we wanted to make something a bit like the shows that we loved when we were kids, you know, the Goodies and the big studio sitcoms. And yeah, so we wanted to make something cartoony, and putting it in a studio seemed the right thing to do.
And these are scientists, you're...
Yeah, it's all set in a lab, and yeah, my character is an idiot scientist surrounded by bigger idiot scientists.
And once again, do we know if this is what scientists are like? We've established that the thick of it is actually quite a close parallel to what goes on in politics.
No, I think science is actually quite boring. Just as a day-to-day thing, there's a lot of that, you know, kind of moving a little thing to another little thing to set up elaborate experiments. Yeah. But our show is less like that because we found it to be boring and it's more giant snails and enormous lemons.
But you must be interested in this kind of thing because you kind of touch on big ideas in your stand-up, and now you're returning once again to this is people trying, I guess, improve the world.
Well, yeah, I suppose so. I think all of these people, I don't know if they're trying to improve the world. I think they're trying to get through their day. I think in most sitcoms, people are just trying to get through their day. And my character, Alex, is really the one who just... I think his basic feeling is, if I can just get through this, everything else is gravy. It's all going to be fine. But, of course, he's surrounded by people who are tripping him up.
I'm looking forward to Lab Rats. It's going to be great fun, I imagine.
Thank
you. Are you doing any more of the thick of it, or is that it?
We're doing another series of the thick of it next year. We've just made a film. The same team have just made a film called In the Loop, which also has American actors in. James Gandolfini's in it, and it's very exciting.
Proper actors?
Actual actors, yeah, actual actors.
In a movie, you want Americans,
we went away and filmed it and everything. It was really exciting.
Where did you film it?
We went to Washington.
Wow.
And filmed in Washington. We filmed in this... We did this, it's in my only showbiz story, right? We were in a motorcade.
Okay.
We filmed in a motorcade.
That's a parade they have in cars, yes?
Yeah, that's, you know, like political motorcade, just a load of outriders and big sedans and all of that kind of thing. It's very exciting. But you need proper policemen. You have to have real policemen as outriders. You're not allowed to have pretend ones. So in Washington, they don't have special policemen to do that for you. So if there's something better to do, they all just go away. So we spent hours waiting for these people to turn up. When eventually they did turn up, because the reason they go is because Dick Cheney, the vice president, goes everywhere in a motorcade. If you're in Washington, you see motorcades go past all the time and people go, Cheney.
Why does he do that?
I don't. He's a dick. It's his first name. He's an idiot.
Self-important.
Yeah, I mean, you know, if he forgets his keys, 100 policemen, 3 limos, back they go, right?
That's what it is. But if I would do that. Wouldn't you do that if you had the chance to go out and people...
Yeah, I mean, he's got nothing better to do. Yeah. He's only running the superpower.
Okay.
But so this is what he does. So every time you see one of these motorcades, people go, Cheney. And we had to wait for hours and hours and hours for these cops to turn up. And eventually when they did, it was rush hour. And it was very difficult for us to... We were trying to film this limo going towards the Capitol, the dome of the Capitol. And you know, we kept stopping and stopping and stopping because it was rush hour. And eventually the policeman on the motorcycle just drove up, tapped on the window, and we leant out. And he said, do you want me to turn the lights on? Yeah, like little kids. And me and Tom Holland is sitting next to me, and we were just spinning round, just going round and round, because they couldn't quite get the shot. We had to go round and round, the same 3 traffic lights. We had to stop people. We stopped the same cars 5 or 6 times. And what's great about that is you know that in their heads they were thinking, what the fuck is Cheney doing? That was great. So we've just done a film, and that'll be out early next year.
I will look forward to it. What's it called again?
It's called In the Loop.
But for the time being, if you want to catch Chris on TV, it's on BBC Two. It starts next week. It's called Lab Rats. It's Thursday night. Yes. Chris, lovely to have you. Mr. Chris Addison, ladies and gentlemen. That was great. We've got more than enough.
Okay, now.
Chris Addison. What a nice man. It's time for my final guest, ladies and gentlemen. She needs no introduction, so let's just see her. First of all, in one of my favourite movies of recent years, largely thanks to her fabulous performance, it's the excellent Devil Wears Prada. Look at this.
There you are, Emily. How many times do I have to scream your name?
Actually, it's Andy. My name is Andy. Andrea, but everybody calls me Andy.
I need 10 or 15 skirts from Calvin Klein.
Okay, what kind of skirts do you...
Please bore someone else with your questions. And make sure we have Pier 59 at 8 a.m. tomorrow. And remind Jocelyn I need to see a few of those satchels that Mark is doing in the Pony. And then tell Simone I'll take Jackie if Maggie isn't available. Did de Marchelier confirm?
De Marchelier?
De Marchelier? Did he get him on the phone?
Okay.
And Emily?
Yes?
That's all. It's just a totally disregard.
That's a performance. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Meryl Streep.
Mamma mia, here I go again. My, how can I resist you? Yes, I'm broken hearted. Blue since the day we parted. Mamma mia.
Meryl Streep. Wow, Meryl. Hey, how fabulous does Meryl look? You look fabulous. That's who's that outfit by there?
Oh, God, I don't know.
You don't have a look for you? I'll have a look on the label. Let's do this. It's for Primark. It's no. Wow, £7. No, it's Max Mara. It looks fantastic.
Max Mara.
Max
There
Mara.
it
You
is.
go. You
yeah.
look great. How lovely to see you. How long are you over here in the United Kingdom for?
Till tomorrow.
Just till tomorrow. So
Yeah.
you're just whizzing around the world.
Yeah, absolutely.
And also, I believe congratulations all because you just celebrated a birthday, didn't you?
Yes, I did. Yes. Oh my God.
Well, no, at your age,
But
I know
that was
sometimes the
last
memory
week.
goes.
It's
That's
so
what it is.
long ago.
Hey, how old were you last week?
59. 59.
59. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So, now, next year, that's pretty much a big landmark in your life next year.
Next
year's
year,
birthday.
yeah.
Do you have plans? Do you know what you might be doing? Will it be a big celebration?
No, I don't think so. Probably I'll do what I did this year, which is cook for everybody.
Just
and
cook for everyone. Wasn't that lovely,
throw
though?
myself a party because everybody forgets.
Oh, what's wrong with them?
No, I'm kidding. They're very sweet.
Okay, but I guess you're not the sort of person it'd be easy to buy a gift for anyway.
I'm tough. I don't really care about stuff that much.
Like me, you're not into material goods.
I'm not in, well...
I'm very spiritual.
I know, it's a bitch when you're, trying to buy a present for somebody that doesn't really appreciate it.
Yeah. What kind of things do people get you there? Do you know, can you tell us what sort of things people get? Or is it just little tokens?
I like scarves.
Scarves?
And earrings, and I noticed in The Devil Wears Prada, I did pick up those earrings.
Well, I was going to ask you that because...
From that scene, those are the same earrings.
Well, what a fabulous movie. And I loved the performance you gave in that. She kind of reminded me a little bit, only in terms of her strictness, of Margaret Thatcher. Did you base her?
Is that right?
Yeah, well, you know, that kind
That's
of... She's got the
interesting.
coiffed grey hair and she's got the steely gaze.
Yeah.
Did you base her on Thatcher or did you base her on anyone, that performance on anyone?
No, I based her on all the men that I've known that have been, in positions of authority. Generally, the strongest ones don't raise their voices very much.
Yes.
And it's a great lesson.
But
it's good, but people aren't, afraid of you. People love you.
Oh, well, that's...
But if you want people to be afraid... I mean, Clint Eastwood was a great director I worked with, and I copied a lot of stuff from him.
Wow, so you based that character partially on Clint Eastwood?
And Mike Nichols.
Wow. And so you worked with Clint as he was acting opposite you and directing you in The Bridges of Madison County.
Yeah.
What a great person he is to work with, I imagine. I mean, what a great presence he has, and also as a director, he's very gifted as well.
Yeah, he's absolutely Triple threat.
Yeah, yeah.
He's amazing.
But he's not intimidating to work with, or is he? I mean,
Not
I can't
at all,
imagine. Yeah.
no.
But I would imagine, I'm sure this isn't something you would ever wish, but young actors or performers, knowing they're working with you, that must be quite daunting for them because, you know, you're celebrated quite rightly as well.
Not only when, but then I forget my lines like so often, and they're immediately, you know, sort of, oh, she's not so great.
Do you ever do it on purpose just to kind of like relax them?
I
Of course
do.
you do.
Yeah.
who are the actors who you remember most fondly having worked with? Who are the leading men you've worked with? 'Cause I rewatched recently a tremendous movie called Kramer versus Kramer.
Oh, yeah.
How was that? How was it working with Dustin? How was making that movie for you?
Oh, it was good, but it was weird because almost in one of the very first scenes, it's when I'm leaving, and we were shooting the scene, and I was properly upset, I thought, and I was getting my stuff together and walked out in the hallway, and he looked at me and he slapped me as hard as he could.
Who? Dustin?
Dustin.
What the?
Yeah, and you can see it in the film. There's a big big hand mark. I was so kind of shocked, but it set me up for the right feeling for him about the film.
Did he do that on purpose, or he just like slapping
He
people?
did it off screen, and then.
Nowadays, if he was doing that, someone would be filming it on a mobile phone nearby. You know.
He'd be sued, baby. He'd be in the courts.
Well, you know what? We don't have the slapping one. We do have that scene because I just think that's just a fabulous piece of work. Between the two of you here, it's just a fantastic piece of acting. Have a look at this. I know it's strange thing out of context, but this is from Kramer versus Kramer.
Well, I'm sorry that I was late, but I was busy making a living, all right? Come on, okay? Can we stop now?
So, that's everything.
Hey. Hey, enough, all right? What are you doing? Where are you going? Come on, just tell me what I did. That's all. Just tell me what I did that's so terrible.
It's not
Then
you.
what is it?
It's me. It's my fault. You just married the wrong person, that's all. I can't,
Okay,
I can't,
all
I
right,
can't,
fine.
I
Let's
can't.
just go inside,
I
please.
can't, I tried. I swear.
Joanna, please, now, just... I'm sorry.
No, don't make me go in there, please don't make me go in there. Don't make me go in there.
We'll just talk.
If you do, I swear, one day, next week, maybe next year, I don't know. I'll go right out the window.
Oh, please, now, come on now. What about Billy?
I'm not taking him with me. I'm no good for him. I'm terrible with him. I have no patience. He's better off without me.
Joanne, please.
And I don't love you anymore.
Where are you going?
I don't know.
You could see them out there.
You could see them out.
Incredible.
And he denies that ever happened, by the way.
But were you pleased he did it because that helped you get that performance out, or would you have been able to give that performance?
Please? No, I felt I could do the acting for myself.
So have you forgiven him for that?
It's one of those weird things, you know. You just don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
These encounters with people that are very, very deep when you're working. People unleash things that you don't, you know, all is forgiven, and I really, really love him, and I think he's an amazing actor.
Yeah.
But boy, I was mad that day.
I bet you were. Which of the movies you look back, which of the performances which you most enjoy that you've given? I mean, I don't know if you watch your movies back, but which of the ones that you... Okay, which ones do you think of with the greatest fondness?
Oh, a lot of them. I mean, it's hard to, because it's like my life. It's like the home movies of my life. I remember where my children were conceived on each location, and where we lived, and where the kids went to school. I remember all sorts of different things when I watch the movies than other people.
So you can't really separate...
my life from my work, no.
Yeah. Wow, but that's lovely. It's nice. I mean, it's like having kind of very elaborate, very expensive home movies to look back on. But with Robert Redford in it. Instead of, most of us have got Al Dade, you've got Robert Redford for that one, and you've got Jack Nicholson. Yeah, I remember that. It's when the kid lost a tooth. It was Jack Nicholson. How is, speaking of Jack Nicholson, he's an actor who I just admire. At one stage, you made a few movies together, didn't you? You worked together several times.
Twice, yeah.
Twice. great on-screen performance, chemistry between the two of you, I always thought. What's he like to work with? What are your memories of working with Jack Nicholson?
I just remember laughing all the time. I mean, he's incredibly funny and very witty, and he takes the piss out of everybody.
Yeah.
But no, we did Heartburn, and I had just finished Out of Africa. I came home, and I was pregnant while I made Heartburn. I was really, really sick. I look at that movie now, and I think, I'm green. The tint of the film, but I really was green, you know, for a lot of it. But he was so great and so funny.
Now, I don't want you to tell tales out of school, but of course Jack is he's the kind of fella who, when he works with an attractive woman, he tends to try his luck.
He didn't have a prayer, babe.
For a start, you had morning sickness.
I was off men then.
Out of Africa is a tremendous movie.
Yeah.
Robert Redford, you know, I know we haven't met Robert like you have, but in real life he's quite unattractive. Is that correct? I believe he's quite...
Oh my God. Do you think so?
No, of course not. He's like impossibly good looking, isn't he?
He is.
Yeah. Okay, let's have a look. This is Meryl with Robert in Out of Africa, and I'm warning you now, there's a bit of a silly hat involved here.
I wouldn't run. If you do, she'll think you're something good to eat.
Do you have a gun?
She won't like the smell of you.
Shoot it.
She's had breakfast.
Don't. Please shoot her.
No, let's give her a moment.
Oh my God, shoot her. Just how much closer did you expect to let her come?
A bit. She wanted to see if you'd run. That's all they decide. A lot like people that way.
She almost had me for lunch.
Well, it wasn't her fault, Meredith. She's a lion.
Oh, come on. Oh, they don't make them like that anymore.
Those lions were all from California. They were imported. They really were.
They were Hollywood lions.
They were brought in from Agora. Yeah.
Is that because they were trained, I guess?
Yeah, they were trained supposedly, but there was my dear friend Sidney Pollack, who directed that movie, just recently died, and I always told a story about him, which is absolutely true. The last scene we shot in Out of Africa was inside a boma, which is sort of a thorn bush corral. And there were cattle in there, there was one lioness, and there was me. And this lion was tethered because it was so close, they were kind of afraid. And all the crew had to sit up on top of cars. The only person on the ground was me. But no matter what I did, when I whipped this lion, and she would go, you know, she just would not move. She wouldn't do anything. And Sidney was going crazy. He was already out of his mind because this was our last day. We had to get this shot. And he said to the DP, he said, cut the tether. The guy said, what are you talking about? You know, he said, cut the tether. And for the last scene of that movie, when I whipped that lion, she goes, "Arr!" She really ran at me, and I went, and she looked at me like this, and then she ran away. The movie was over, and I got on an airplane and came back to New York, baby.
Wow, but what a fabulous adventure.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm so glad I'm here to tell it.
Okay, so let's talk about Mamma Mia.
Yeah.
Because here's a movie, when I heard they're making film Mamma Mia, I never saw the stage play. I love the music of ABBA. And then I read who's in it. I thought Meryl Streep, and I thought I'd misread because it's not the kind of film I associate with you.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of a breezy, I mean, you know,
Yeah.
it's just unusual. And I didn't know that you were a singer or a dancer, you'd done that kind of thing. Why did you want to do it? What was it about Mamma Mia that you wanted to be involved?
Oh, I loved the musical. I did see the musical.
So you saw it in New York?
I saw it right after it first opened. It opened in October of 2001. And we had moved to the city on September 9th of 2001. And, you know, 2 days later, the World Trade Center was attacked. And it was very, you know, everybody was really disturbed. My 10-year-old was in a school, and 7 of the parents were lost in the thing. And so all the kids were kind of dimmed. And it was her birthday, and I thought, what am I going to do with these kids? and I read the New York Times, it said, "New British musical, buoyant fun." And so I took a big gang of kids there, and they just, at the end of it, they came out dancing. They were so happy, but not just the kids. I mean, everybody there was really just elated by this music. And I thought, man, this is a real power this thing has. You know, there are very few things that really, really make you feel good when you come out of it.
And I guess the kids weren't even that familiar with the music. It's like we go in knowing ABBA's songs.
Oh yeah, they knew nothing, and then we had to go buy all the albums, and then we heard the
Yeah.
songs over and over and over for a couple of years.
I went to see the movie with my 11-year-old, and she's not that familiar with ABBA, and she came out loving it. You know, she came out, yeah, of course, you know, because there's singing, there's dancing, there's girls. I came out, I was a bit perturbed to see James Bond singing an ABBA song. You got Pierce Brosnan there, and he hasn't got the best voice in the business. It has to be said. No, I'm sorry, Meryl.
No.
Oh, yes.
No. I think he's fabulous.
I think he's brave for trying.
He's a dreamboat, and he sounds like Tom Waits and Joe Cocker, kind of a mix, you know?
Tom Waits and Joe Cocker, after a very heavy night on the... No, I love Pierce Brosnan. I love seeing him in it, but it's kind of... He's got the worst voice in the movie.
Oh, stop it! It's not true. It's not true.
You so know it's true. You're being nice, but he can't carry a bloody tune.
And what did your wife think?
She didn't see it yet. She's going to go and see it. We're going to go and see it with my daughter again. Now, you've sung before, I guess, but I didn't know that you... I mean, do you like to perform? You like singing and doing that kind of thing?
I was in musicals in high school, and I thought I might... And my first Broadway show was a musical.
Which one was that?
It's called Happy End, Kurt Weill and Bertolt Brecht. It's not
Not big on laughs. Yeah, it's not Mamma Mia.
But it has some great songs. Surabaya, Johnny, no one's meaner than you. Surabaya, Johnny. Do you know that? That's a great song.
No, I don't know, but I just beautiful. I'm sitting close to Meryl Streep singing. I don't care. I'm just really happy.
That's a great score, and it's a musical. But then I got into other things.
Yeah, well, I think we know about those other things.
Yeah,
let's have a look at a clip. This is Mamma Mia. It opens July the 10th. Have a look at this.
You're a teaser, you turn them on. Leave them burning and then you're gone. Looking out for another, anyone will do. You're in the mood for a dance. And when you get the chance, you are the dancing queen. Young and sweet, only 17. Dancing queen, feel the beat from the tambourine. Oh yeah, you can dance, you can die, having the time of your life. Ooh, see that girl, watch that scene, digging the dancing queen.
Meryl does ABBA. That's Mamma Mia. Up until July the 10th. So the scene we saw, that was in Greece. That was actually shot in Greece. That scene.
Yeah. That was up in the northern Aegean.
Okay. Now, how did you feel? I think I might say almost all the film. Not quite. There's a couple of things, but almost all the film. You are wearing the dungarees.
Yeah, you don't like those?
Well, no, I don't have a problem with them. I personally don't like to wear them because for a man, if you have the straps done up incorrectly, it can be a little bit unaccommodating. But that's
you have to make a decision.
You do, which... Republican or Democrat, as you say. But how much of your year did you spend in the dungarees then filming that? It's quite a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, look at that. Well, are you on strings there, or are you actually just jumping that high?
My own string. I didn't think about it before I did that.
Wow.
I should have, because I felt it the next day.
Did any injuries occur during the making of this movie?
Yes, Julie really hurt herself in Dancing Queen.
How did she hurt herself?
She stepped on a rock. They didn't clear the path where we were dancing. And it's a real place, it's cobblestones and it's sort of, she hurt herself. But she soldiered on. She's tough.
You see, made of sterner stuff, you see.
She's fantastic.
A Brit.
Yeah. She's a Brit. She's not a big baby like the Americans.
Is it tough being an American sometimes when you go around the world? Because, you know, the position that America
Not
occupies.
anymore, baby, because we're on the verge. We're on the verge.
Well, now,
of
so you
some
think
big
things are going to...
changes.
You think things will change?
Oh, yes, I do.
You think Mr. Obama has a chance to
Yes,
become
I
president?
do.
Well, that's exciting.
I
And
think he'll be our next president.
were you disappointed that Hillary Clinton got ousted in his favour, or would you prefer to see him? Who do you think would have made the better Democratic leader, and who do you think will
Oh,
make
I
the
don't
better?
know. It was just historic, you know. It was a
Well, that's
great
what-
moment
exactly,
for all of us. And I don't know. I think now everybody's happy that it's Obama. Hillary's pulling for him. She's out campaigning for him. So I think it'll be a formidable team.
You are a Democrat yourself, then, I'm assuming.
No. All for Cheney. No.
Do you have to watch what you say about these things? Because presumably if you were to say something about these things now, it would be picked up in the American papers, wouldn't it? If you were to be outspoken.
Being picked up right now, probably.
So you have to you have to be a little circumspect.
No, I don't. But I'm for Obama. I
Yeah.
don't make any bones about it. I didn't like the current administration the first time around. and-
I've met very few people who did. That's what's so curious about it. Meryl, it's lovely to have you here, of course.
My pleasure.
It's lovely to have you back in the
Thank
country.
you for inviting me.
Well, you are welcome anytime.
I've watched your show very often. And
I can only apologise.
I was always...
But thank you so much for coming
Thanks.
on.
Appreciate
I
it.
hope you know I'm a huge fan. I suspect you have more than a couple in the audience here as well. So congratulations on Mamma Mia. It's great fun.
Thank you.
Meryl Streep, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. You may go. Your work is done. Back to the cat and the dog. Thank you. Let's have a hug today. Meryl Streep, ladies and gentlemen. The fabulous, divine Ms. Streep. My thanks to the wonderful Meryl Streep, Chris Addison and Adrian Lester. Thanks to all of you. Next week, my guest will be soul diva Chaka Khan, style god Gok Wan, and American comedy star Steve Carell, you know, from the 40-Year-Old Virgin and all that. We'll also have live music from the mighty Primal Scream, but now performing standing next to me. Will you please welcome the Last Shadow Puppets.
After 2 years have gone now, but I can't relate to the never-ending games that you play. As desire passes through, then you're open to the truth. I'll hope you understand, and your love is standing next to me. It's standing next to me. The one you fell for makes it seem juvenile, and you laugh at yourself again and again, and drink to the thoughts she'll remember you maybe tomorrow, and your love is standing next to me, is standing next to me, and your love is standing next to me, is standing next to me, is standing next to me, is standing next to me. Have gone now, but I can't relate to the never-ending games that you play. As desire passes through, then you're open to the truth. I'll hope you understand, and your love is standing next to me. Is standing next to me. Is standing next to me. Is standing next to me.
Nice work.
Kill Bill Volume 1 follows the Euro Millions draw next on BBC One. On BBC Two, Jay-Z and a classic album, The Making of Reasonable Doubt. And there's double comedy on BBC Three now with Family Guy.